Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's Q&A. My name's Gary Guru. I'll be hosting, and Alex Dandy will be driving documentation for us. We don't have really any big documents, any announcements this week. I know we're still working through a lot of the DD issues, and you'll see issues coming up around those. Some are getting turned on, some are, disabled, and some are being re-enabled as issues are fixed. There's so we'll cross that bridge, I guess, when we get to it. So fall or end of year, we'll be starting really quick now. We're almost at the end of April, and end of year we'll be wrapping up. May 7th is when it starts, and that's when you can start certification and look at your reports, all that good stuff that goes with it. Other than that, I don't have any big announcements. Martha, Angela, did you have anything you wanted to say?
I don't have anything.
We didn't have any bugs go in yesterday's release, but we did enable a couple certification data discrepancies and a couple that we ended up turning off right away. The Center 606 is triggering on no-show students. So the next time your DDs run, that should clear. And then what's the other one, Alex? 650 something?
SCNR 650.
XCNR 650 is not working quite right. So it's over triggering. So we disabled that one as well. So we'll turn those back on once the testing is complete. And that was all I had today, Gary.
All right, great. So we have about 120 people. And let's go ahead and get started with the questions. First question one is from Rebecca from Lancaster. Why does the access to the data discrepancy display require edit access roles to see certain errors as they relate to SCNR, SNF, etc.? This needs to change because we don't want anyone who doesn't have anything to do with updating these files or records having access to edit them, especially when CALPADS doesn't translate exactly back to what is in our SIS. An example is the exit date in our SIS is the day after the last in-session day, but CALPADS end date is the actual last in-session day, or sometimes modified to clear as CCE. Edit access should not be the determining factor to give access to specific reports, because this is asking for trouble for us who have to reconcile the data. Is this a question or a customer request? I have no way to answer that.
I think our logic, Rebecca, behind making sure that it's the edit role that can see the data discrepancies is because those are the folks likely that are going to have to resolve it. And so, like you were saying, that if you have view, how does that help you view the error, but you can't do anything to fix it? So that's why we restricted it to the edit role. I think that was our logic behind that.
And you don't need the edit role to see the list of errors in the summary grid, but the display grid, which shows the individual data discrepancies associated with it.
That's right.
The seed or the SSID does require the edit. So it falls in line with what Martha's saying. Those who have the edit role should and are expected to be able to update the information to resolve the data discrepancies, but you're not limited. View roles and even the SCNR search, you can see the summary.
Thanks, Nate.
I forgot about that. Yeah, thanks, Nate. The
Okay,
man who did the recording, the video recording.
A great resource. Okay, next question, Q1 from Milad. According to the previous CALPADS documentation, if the education plan type code is 100 IEP or 200 ISP, the age should be between 2 and 9 months, but less than 23 years. However, we encountered the fatal error plan 0366E4, indicating that the special education codes type 100 IEP or 200 individual service plan, the student should be at least 3 years old, but less than 23 years old. Is there any flash available to highlight these changes? So you're right, that there was a change. It is now 3. That's why you're getting the error. The documentation that wasn't updated. Oh yeah, it's been up. Well, no, it's updated there where Alex is showing you. But I don't know that it's been updated where it's still showing 2 and 9 months. But if it hasn't, that's coming soon. And I don't remember if there was a flash that talked about this changing from 2 and 9 months to 3 years. If anyone on the SPED team knows if any communication was sent out, maybe could type it in a response to Milad.
I guess
Okay.
Joe isn't here. He would have given us
Oh.
the flash number right away.
Oh yeah, he's not here. All right, Q1 from Colleen. This morning I uploaded an SCNR that included May 2024 exit dates. As Mr. Bill says, for those of you that remember Mr. Bill, oh no, I'm currently removing those in OMs for students who are still testing. If I can get them removed today, they won't go to TOMS overnight, correct? What is the time data is sent to TOMS? It usually is 24 to 48 hours. Q1 from Teresa. Can you give some information regarding 5th year students and if and when we can take ADA for these students? I don't know how that works with 5th year students as far as ADA goes. But
In transition, right?
yeah.
I would probably just refer them to the attendance and accounting office at CDE because we don't really do ADA, right?
Right, we don't do ADA and CALPADS. Question 1 from Clarissa. Do you know if there will be a universal meal program in 24-25? I do not. Does anyone else know the answer to that?
They've not said that they're rescinding it. So as far as I know, it's going to continue.
Thanks,
Was it
Martha.
last year or the year before that the flash went out and talked about the universal meal? I'll look it up.
Okay. Q1 from Marina. Will the elpac scores ever be available on CalPADS?
No. They're going to stay in TOMS, and I think you can download it out of TOMS and put it in your SIS. Does anybody know if that's, but it's not going to go into CalPADS.
Okay, question from Daphne at SAC COE. I wanted to confirm if a student transfers into the COE from the District of Special Education, accountability, and the duration of that enrollment is 10 days or less, is it no longer necessary for the COE to adopt the student's current special education plan? This new guidance will not cause errors for end of year, correct? Just wanted to double check.
I know that that was sent out in the special education listserv. Oh, here it is. Hold on. So this was an email that was sent in the SPED listserv. When was this? April 12th. And here's the new guidance for COEs.
Thanks, Alex.
Hey, Gary, it was Flash 254 that gave the background on the Universal Meal Program. So that was the most recent communication.
Oh, great. Flash 254.
And that was June of last year.
Okay, question 1 from Bavita. The students at a school are taking the CTE capstone course 7511. As part of that course, they're doing an internship. Should there be a separate internship section, or can we report work-based learning internship hours under course 7511? This is mainly for 24-25 when the state code for internships will be required. Whoa, getting a lot of good questions today.
I believe that for the work-based learning file, there is a section where you would just enter that 7511 state course code. So you would enter that the student took an internship, the number 10, right, for internship, I believe it is. And then state course code would be that 7511.
Work-based learning. Thanks, Alex. Trish has a comment, I guess, for information. The California TSUG meeting will be held April 26th. All Power School user group, I guess that's what that stands for. All Power School users are welcome either in person or Zoom. And there's the link. Thanks, Trish. Suan says, Q1, hello, Dominic, how are you? I believe Dominic's at the roadshow right now. He's not here. Brandy and Dominic are both at a roadshow right now. All right, I'm going to go back. There was a couple Q2s, and then we'll probably get some more Q1s after that. Q2 from Rebecca. Will the warning that 550 F1 invalid ELAS code for language instruction program eventually go away for next year? It doesn't like the new 3-digit letter codes, which are all letters versus the old 2-digit numeric codes. If submitting an education program code for language programs 3 through 5, 3, and 7, the student's most recent overlapping ELAS code must equal EL. Not sure how the language code deals with this error.
It was already adjusted.
We did change it so that it's just a warning. I pulled up one of your errors at Lancaster and it looked valid to me. So if you want to put in a ticket with an example, if you think where it shouldn't be triggering, go ahead and do that and give us the SSID. We'll take a look for you.
Thanks, Angela. Okay, Q2 from Teresa. Can you talk a bit about early grads and how they do not count for our grad rate? Also, when we report summer grads to make the deadline of 8/15, would we need to decertify to do this? Well, for the summer grads, as long as you haven't certified end of year yet, you just want to make sure you have all of that information in of students that graduate by 8/15. That's still the date. That needs to be in by 8/16. No later than 8/16. But the date has to be 8/15 or before for the summer grads. Not exactly sure what you want to talk about for early grads and how they count for our grad rate. Well, for the cohort, they're in a specific cohort. So if they graduate early, they're still going to be in their same cohort. They'll just won't be reported till that cohort. Not sure what else to say about that. But if you need more clarification, you could put a ticket in and we can follow up. Okay, Q1 from Audrey. Can anyone here provide some historical background on why Filipino is sometimes broken out as a separate race ethnicity on aggregate reports like the CALPADS reports, and sometimes included in the Asian aggregate counts, like the annual determination letters. We try to track some of the historical data at the historical level, and it would help to know how to aggregate the Filipino counts since they are pulled out sometimes and not others. I think that's what was meant there.
Can I speak to that?
Yes, please, Kyron.
Okay. So as an immigrant coming from the Philippines, we associate ourselves as Asians. However, there are Filipinos who are in Hawaii who associate themselves as Pacific Islanders. So there is confusion between those areas. And so I guess the federal government couldn't figure it out and separated it to have Filipino as well.
So my recollection was that the feds had one way of aggregating the various race codes, and the department had their way of doing it. And somewhere along the line, we aligned with the feds, and that's when we had Filipino as its own race. And prior to that, it was, am I remembering that correctly, Angela?
Yeah, that's my recollection as well.
So I suppose, you don't have a glossary that goes back 10 years, because the glossary would show how we did the roll up. And actually, I would think on DataQuest probably somewhere has a legend of their roll up. And I don't know if they have one for each of the year.
All right. Next one is Q1 from Nicole. If a student went to juvenile hall during the spring break, do we have to drop them and re-enroll them even though they didn't miss any school? It is showing a CCE. If it was 30 days or less, you shouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't know why it would be showing a CCE if they used the 30 code for short term. But if you're getting a CCE and it doesn't seem like you should be getting it, we might want to tick it so we can look into that. Q1 from Charlene. We have a student with an E150 mid-year enrollment update. Because the very next day was not a school day, plus a weekends afterwards, I had to manually change the enrollment date after the E150. Otherwise, an error was triggered. But that is no longer the case anymore. We now have an enrollment date 4 days after E150 without any issue. Why is that? Good question. It usually has to be the date right after. So we may need to take it on that one to see if something's happened, but it should be the date right after.
That's an SAS question, though. They should know better to put the very next day in, even if it doesn't fit with your calendar. It's on the extract. They should be handling that.
Ah, thanks, Angela.
But we should have triggered an error, right? If they gave it to us 4 days later.
We let it come in.
Mm-hmm.
I think they get a warning when they're like, if you're on online maintenance, you get a warning that says, I forgot what the error number or warning number is, but
I think you get a cert error eventually. And maybe a cert error, yeah.
Oh. Oh.
But I swear we have one.
Yeah.
Maybe someone got rid of it.
What was that?
It was a mid-year enrollment. How it has to.
E150.
Don't we have a validation that's?
It was in
Maybe.
4-1 though, not end of year 3.
Actually, there's a just data discrepancy
yeah.
that's SENR 0286E3.
Yeah.
286.
286.
E3, then
Oh.
that makes it EOY3.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's showing in my data discrepancy.
Oh, you
So
are
we must-
getting the error. And it says fatal error. So yeah, so how's that going to work if she does it? It is 4 days after she's getting a data discrepancy that will prevent her from certifying end of year 3.
So she's got to either change it in CALPADS and also find out from the vendor why they're allowing that.
Yep.
Because as Angela said, they should
Yep.
know better.
Yep. Okay, question, let's see. Question 1 from Yadira. Q1 SPED with a question mark. We have a SPED student that we received from San Diego, but was never exited from SPED in CALPADS. The student is still marked as eligible and participating, but we were sent a document that the student was exited. Is there anything on our end that we can do now? You could put up a SWDS record that says no longer or exited or no longer participating, or one of those choices other than eligible and participating.
Yes, that's right, Gary. And then also ensure proper documentation on your end. So,
Great, thanks, Milo.
thank you.
Okay, scrolling down. Okay, I think I've gotten all the questions unless I missed one because the screen keeps bouncing around. Oh, Eudora, yes, you can do a manual entry. You can enter the SPED records using online CALPADS.
And we recently published a video on how to do online maintenance for the students with disability containers.
And Alex is showing you right now where that video is.
If you're on the homepage, it was in CALPADS Basics. That's where Marshall stuck it.
Basics.
And Alex did such a wonderful job with that.
There it is.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no.
No,
That
Nope.
one.
if you go to playlist and search SPED, it should bring up it on the playlist side.
Oh, here it is. It's the first one here.
Oh,
22 minutes is much better than an hour and 20 minutes.
for
What's
a
an hour
video
and
that
20 minutes?
when the videos are an hour and 20 minutes, a 22-minute video is easy to sit through.
Yeah, the first video that y'all pointed to was an hour and 22
Oh.
minutes.
And you can also put it on double speed to cut the time in half. You can still understand it pretty good.
Marshall, what's the keyword search on that one? I'm trying to search by
Online maintenance.
the search
Yeah.
bar.
Special education.
Special education, online maintenance, or special education, and it's in there. If you click on the right hand side, says all videos. You click when you're on the home page. If you click on all videos, you'll be able to find it pretty quickly.
It's not coming up for me. I typed in special education online maintenance.
Let me check.
Is there something you can do on the back end to?
Yes, I'll make it easier to search for. Our video library is getting pretty big.
If you just go to videos, Gary, the most recent upload will show. So generally, it should be one of these.
Yeah, we can't control sometimes what YouTube does with our videos. We try to keep it organized.
I'll
also-
embed the video in the 4 to
In-
5 types of the user manual.
And
Oh.
if you subscribe to this channel, it'll show up on your latest.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the future though, and we have, another 40 videos up, and I'm looking for this one. I like to use the search feature.
Okay.
All right. Okay, we have a Q1 from Mo. Hi, I have a language. I fixed language and fluency together. Language fluency question. We have a student that enrolled with us on 3/4/24. The student attended a total of 6 days and was absent for 12 days due to the transportation challenges. The family moved before the student was elpac tested. Can we remove the TBD in language fluency and allow the new district to test the student? Yeah, you should be able to delete the TBD.
I don't think they
nope,
have to
Sean
though,
says,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to. And Sean says, no, you should remain.
The new LEA adopts your TBD record. And so you don't need, neither of you need to do anything. CALPADS will do it automatically.
Okay. And Sean says, please review the home language survey and ensure the student should be TBD. If the TBD is valid, then the time frame remains. Sean. Sylvia has a Q1 follow-up on Daphne's question at 306. Does it apply to all LEAs or just the COEs? I don't remember what that question was, so let's go back.
That was the
this-
10-day. Yeah, that one.
I'm
Oh.
thinking it's COEs.
County Office of Education Enrollments. Okay. Q1 from Jerry. I have a question regarding the AP exam info and International Baccalaureate exam info. It's part of the dashboard CCI indicator, but I was curious how the CDE obtains this information. And there's a link for reference. Is it certain certain codes that are put in CALPADS with the course information that determines that?
I think there's a extract that the department gets from advanced placement, the testing company. They get results.
Oh. Oh, and Rebecca says it comes from the testing vendor. Thanks, Rebecca. And I believe that was all the questions so far, unless I missed anybody. Any more questions?
I did place the CalPADS Special Education Online Maintenance Table of Contents in the chat. If you guys want to download that'll make you get to the points.
And that's at the 3:30 timestamp. Any more questions?
Did see Suan's comment about her getting seasick, trying to keep up with the moving questions on her chat.
It's not fun, and it started with some update to Zoom a few months ago, because before it never used to do this, but now it's just frustrating. And it seems like we should be able to give them customer feedback to come up with a better solution.
Yeah, they changed it to work more like Teams, where you can reply directly in the question instead of just one standard long one. Maybe we'll talk about doing Q&A instead of using chat as the source of answer, question and answers later on.
Yeah, we've had that conversation. We like that audience participation, the folks that help answer each other's questions. They have a different perspective than we do. So you can't do that with the Q&A. Only hosts can respond.
Yeah. Okay. A question from Asia. I learned how to say your name today, thanks to a conversation from
Asia.
Alex. Asia. I came in a few minutes late. Can you repeat today's announcements? We don't really have any big announcements today, other than the fact, end of year starting in 2 weeks. About 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, now's the time to strategize with your team, people that might leave early and you need them around, and figure out, well, how quickly can you get the data in so you can consult with them before they take off? Because timelines are very tight, very tight.
And Alex is showing the milestones for end of year on the screen. And there's a good checklist that you can download and follow. Very helpful.
Yeah, for those of you that serve high schoolers, make sure you're looking carefully at the grad and completer reports, as well as your 15.1 and 15.2. Every year, it seems like we have a handful of districts that miss something, like UC-CSU grads or the CLIP by literacy. So make sure you're scrutinizing those reports carefully before you certify.
Yes.
And that's why we're, suggesting you clear all your errors by the 12th, so that you have 2 weeks to review and have other people put eyes on those reports, so that when you do certify that a lot of people have the time to review it carefully. We find when people have still hundreds of errors the week of the deadline, they're rushing, and that's who usually ends up missing things. They didn't have the time to scrutinize it carefully.
Okay, there's a Q2 from Clarissa that's, sorry, I missed the answer to Daphne's question at 3:06. Can you repeat? As a follow-up to Daphne's question, does that 10 days or less guidance apply if the student's prior enrollment was at another COA court school? We sometimes get new enrollment from students who come from another court school. So in the question, we basically just found this document that was sent out in the listserv on April 12th. Thanks, Alex. And there's this section for the new guidance for County Office of Education enrollments. And that's pretty much all we did when we answered the question, but I think it does answer what you need. Q1 from Diana. Good afternoon. Do you know if the income eligibility guidelines for free and reduced price meals has changed for the 24-25 school year? And if so, would it apply to a CEP school in a non-baseline year?
Don't know if it's changed, and perhaps the nutrition services program area at the Department of Ed is the better resource to ask those questions of. Oh, somebody knows. No, they have not changed. Who said that?
Sean did.
Because they're out now, Sean? Oh, this is, no.
And Rebecca from Fresno has posted a link there. Not sure what it is, but I'm sure it's related to your question. Okay, Q1 from Larnie. Is there a communication and collaboration being developed between CALPADS and TOMS? Lately, since it's a testing season, we have had some CALPADS updates, such as grade level changes, that are not being picked up in TOMS. This has caused some of our students not assign the CAS testing, change from 12th to 11th grade example, or in some assigned a test in spite of the grade change, 11th to 10th grade. Just an FYI, the grade level change was made a month ago, and it was not updated in TOMS when our sites were testing their students. I'm not sure about a communication and collaboration, but if you made a change a month ago.
I think you got to give us a service ticket and a SSID so that Bora can research what is in TOMS right now.
Hello. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-oh. It's that time. It's that time of the Q&A where he just drops off.
Do you want me to pick up?
Yeah.
Alex? Alex,
Yeah.
looks like Gary froze. So Amy from Murrieta. Oh boy, Alex, we should have anticipated this question. For SPED, when trying to send pending transactions yesterday, the transaction started being rejected with Meet 0599 and Meet 0600. These are pending students, so they should not have a Meet record. So we did make a change to both of those errors. It is being discussed a little bit because we did not, I don't think we notified the SEDS vendors, or at least we probably didn't give them enough time to react to it. So those may be lightened up again back to what they were. But right now they're wanting one of the two values populated on pending records. I'm drawing a blank, Alex, and my email crashed. If you could, do you remember what the two elements are?
Yeah, you need to let us know that what meeting type it is. So if it's an initial, let us know that it's an initial versus a pending plan review indicator. I believe those are the two fields. But again, we have those tickets. We have them on hold because we're waiting to hash it out with the SPED office.
Right after this meeting. So.
Sorry, guys. I was looking up the error resolution for those two errors, and I see that for Meet 0599, the meeting activity evaluation type code should be populated. That's what the suggested resolution is. So we'll need to discuss more.
Yeah, Milo, I can forward you. We have a vendor questioning that, so I'll forward you that thread so you're informed in our meeting this afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
Brandy's on it, but I know she's been
busy.
A little busy.
Yeah.
I think we got them all.
Okay, so management, should we give ourselves 15 minutes before our next meeting that starts at 4?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. We'll be back again next week, and hopefully I won't be driving or hosting next week as long as Paul's in, so we'll be good. We'll be good next week.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks everyone for helping. See you next week.
Bye.
Good job.